Look, I did it, Snoop. I did it for you. I'm taking out my sweatshirt for you. That came out weird.
Yeah, don't do
Too
that.
late. It's already off.
Nope. Put it back on.
Me. Look at me.
There's one rule.
What's that one rule?
Put the shirt back on.
Is that better? Look at my non-ear having this. Look at that sharp line
you
across
got a military crew cut.
Look at that sharp line across the back.
Either that or your hair is actually a brown and gray do-rag.
No, it's I have a weird thing where I'm balding from the back forward.
Oh, the reverse Friar Tuck.
Yes. It's called the Tucker Fry.
The Tucker Fry.
Yeah. Which I think is the guy who hosts the news on one of the news channels. I'm pretty sure.
That's Tucker Carlson.
Same thing.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that Tucker Carlson's his stage name. His real name is Tucker Fry.
Yeah, the guy who's
shut up.
the guy who's getting his advertising pulled because he was a jerk.
Yep.
Good times, good times. All right, I still need to work on hop graphite.
Yep.
We have like a
all
shortcut
right,
way
so
of
this
making
bad boy is running, and you have it set up to. Did we do that on camera?
Oh, it's coke dust. What? Wait, what?
Did we get this thing running on camera?
I think we did.
I don't remember doing it.
Well, if not, I can go ahead and show it off. So down below here, yeah. So that's directly underneath the main bit, the main controller for the whole thing.
The actual Woot farm.
The actual Hooji farm.
Woot
farm.
Woot.
The Hoot farm.
Woot.
So this is the final structure of tier 1.
Yep.
So like you had before, we had it just the standard way. It was tier 1 cap. We have the bone casings and the flesh casings around it. There's the upgrade bases. Apparently, you can put upgrades on top of these.
Yep.
To do other cool stuff with it, and then you have the heart and the controller. And then directly below is the factory.
The power, the input, and the output.
And then the power, input, and output below it. And the chests are set up next to the power next to the item output and input. So that way it can take items in if it needs, which this one does not.
Yep.
And it can output items as it gets them, which it is set.
Yep.
I also have a factory controller for Enderman because I thought I could do Enderman pretty easily, but apparently that requires tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have that set up. But
I think tier 2 might just be skeletons and zombies.
Tier
maybe?
1, yeah.
Or tier 1 is skeletons and zombies. Then tier 2 might be like creepers and stuff, and then tier 3 Enderman. But yeah, and you have to go. I think tier 4 you can do blazes, which would probably be helpful. I mean, Enderman would be cool. That would probably be. I mean, how many Ender Pearls do we have? We have 16 Ender Pearls and some of that Ender Dust.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more, but I mean that one wouldn't be bad. And
probably
then
wouldn't need it anytime soon. I think.
Yeah.
But
or for very long. Yeah. Either way.
It's good for future reference, so that we have the heart for it already. We just need to get the controller and the actual structure set up. And it's gonna be a big one.
I'm gonna try and make an X-tone tile. So I came up with an idea. A conversation, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so...
Sorry, I had to burp with a little bit of Taco Bell. Let's go.
Good for you.
It's delicious.
So, most people that have been here for a while know this, but Snoop and I are about 10 years apart in age.
Yep.
Okay. Almost exactly, right? You're 31?
32.
32, okay. So, it's technically 9 years, but you just turned 32. I was
born in 86.
Okay. I was born in 77. So, yeah, we're about 9 years apart. So, when you get to our age, that's not a huge number. It's not as big of a number as, say, an 18-year-old hanging out with a 9-year-old. By the way, there's some legal ramifications for that, so careful. So, yeah. But the thing is that I feel like we very much grew up in two different generations, you know. Technically, you're a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm Generation X. But even in the fact of, I look at when we were kids, when the core of our kids, you grew up, you were born in what, 86, you said?
86.
Probably the majority of your youth you remember was the 90s.
Yeah.
Because that would have put you from 4 to 14.
Correct.
I was born in 77, so I was 3 to 13 through the 80s. And I really feel like a lot of the time there's a big difference between 80s and 90s, because you also got to keep in mind, by the time your generation came around, like once the 90s started, I started high school. Girls have boobs. I was very distracted by that. So
yeah.
So I feel,
heck, even in 8th grade middle school, that's a bit of a distraction.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But I'm just saying, so what you were into as a kid, I was a teenager during those years. So, right. So there's a lot of stuff that you think about nostalgically that I'm not even a big fan of. So like, all right, what were some of the cartoon / kid shows that you enjoyed during that, early age? Like, obviously I'm not talking like when you were like 3 or 4, but like 4 to 14 during the 90s. What were some of the things that you were excited to watch?
Popular stuff from when I was a kid.
But like that you liked,
like the younger side, it was stuff that I really enjoyed. I liked watching the stuff on PBS. I enjoyed watching Sesame Street and Eureka's Castle and stuff like that. So that's kind of a throwback a little bit. But beyond that, I was a big fan of Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
I was a big fan of... I watched a lot of Cartoon Network when it was first introduced. So my dad was one of the first adopters of cable, of actual cable service. And one of the packages we got from Cox Cable was Cartoon Network. And that was a lot of fun. So there was a lot of that. I also really enjoyed shows like Reboot, which was good stuff. I enjoyed watching the cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory, and even watching the Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just those kind of cartoons, even though those are more on the latter end of the 90s.
Well, they were
2000s.
They were still in that wheelhouse stuff.
They were still right there, yeah.
Now here's the funny part, and this is where the generational gap kind of, I get starkly reminded a lot of the time, is that those later 90s shows that you're talking about, so you were early teens, tweens, whatever the hell it's called, that time.
Yeah.
That's when
teenagers.
Yeah, that's when I started having kids. So Dexter's Laboratory and stuff like that, that reminds me of when my daughters were little. Because Pink Cacti was born in 97. So she was 2 or 3, and she watched, Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and stuff all the time with that stuff. So, see, for me, it was G.I. Joe, Transformers, GoBots was still on. Those were Mask was a big one I was a fan of. I never got super into Thundercats. I appreciated it. Just kind of it kind of wasn't my thing. And honestly, I didn't care. I could care less about anime. Like big thing.
I got into anime.
A big thing that came up, I know when I was around that age, was Akira. Akira was a huge deal in that window of time. And I never got into it.
Yeah, I was big into the early anime scene. I actually was vice president of the anime club in high school with my girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
Who was the president. Total scandal. But we did we watched a lot of
over the morning announcements. This just did. Breaking this story wide open.
Yep. Yeah. Breaking news. Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah. Anyways, so I watched a lot of stuff like Trigun, I even watch some stuff like some of the campy, more silly things like I admit I watched Sailor Moon for a little bit. That's interesting.
Okay.
And shows, animated shows like that. That was all right. It wasn't really my big thing though. I was also into other non-cartoon shows. Like I absolutely loved Legend of the Hidden Temple on
that?
Nickelodeon.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It is a kids game show.
Okay.
And where the teams of kids had to get through the Hidden Temple, which is a long side-scrolling kind of video game themed ancient temple with puzzles and stuff, and they had to get to the end and get the golden monkey, and then get out of the temple.
Okay.
And the kids almost always failed.
Okay.
And when they failed, they get covered in gack.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Oh, it was good.
Now, I will say this. And this is going to make me feel really old. Okay, ready? I remember, and I think I was like 12, I vividly remember the day that Double Dare started. Because they had hyped it up for months, as much as, I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah.
And they hyped the hell out of that show. And I remember when it came out, a buddy of mine came over and watched it. And little story, we watched it, and it was the whole thing, jumping over this and hanging off of this. And me and my friend were kind of being idiots and jumping on the furniture to mimic, what we just saw in the show.
Yeah.
I jumped off my my sofa arm backwards onto the floor, tripped over a pillow, hit my head on the coffee table, got 12 stitches.
Ha!
Here's the even better part of that
laughing,
story.
But ha!
Here's the even better part of that story. That coffee table is in my living room.
You still have it?
Here.
Nice.
That was it was the coffee table and two side tables that I grew up with. And where's my book? And my mom ended up giving me that stuff. So that you sat on that coffee table when we did that British Candy video.
Oh, that was the one. Oh.
Yeah. When I was 12, that thing gave me stitches. So
nice.
Let me see something here.
Yeah. I have to say, looking back, while I did watch a lot of TV, and while I did enjoy the Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that, I was really more into the video games. I got an NES, my first console.
Okay.
That my dad got me. I think he got it used. But I had, all the Mario series. I had the golden cartridge of Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Which was always fun. And I would play that with my my cousins whenever they came over. And then I got the SNES, which I remember much more fondly. I got really good at playing Ultraman, which was like a fighting game based off with Ultraman and Mothra and Godzilla and all the old school Japanese kaiju.
Watch your language. Watch your language. Keep going.
I'm sorry, God. I also had got a PS1, and I think that was more the definitive console of my youth.
Is that how you feel? See, that was something I was kind of, because that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to see, not necessarily age gap, because if you would, okay. When I grew up, I had brothers and sisters that were a lot older than me. All right, so they were older than me by when I was born. My sister graduated high school a month and a half later. So my sister was 18, one of my brothers was 17, and then my other two brothers they were 17, 16, and then 14 and 14 because there was twins.
Right.
And so there was a 14-year gap between me and the next sibling in my life. So when I was born in 77 and they were, teenagers, high schoolers, they had Atari. They had a ColecoVision. They had a lot of that stuff. So I grew up with a lot of that stuff. But for me, during that time, and probably how you feel about the Super Nintendo is how I feel about the Nintendo. I got it on launch day. You know, there was so much, you know, talk about it and hype and stuff. I was so excited for it. And my mom was kind of already like predisposed to the whole video game thing because of my brothers and my sister. So she'd already dealt with this for, you know, since the, you know, late 70s all the way up to like the crash in 83.
Yeah.
And
by the way, and just a real quick side, for people who are currently watching, if you're still awake, no offense, Modii, but more about myself. I'm sorry for sniffling so much. I apparently have come down with some kind of cold, and it's just it's annoying, and I apologize.
It's okay. I just thought my story was really getting to you.
Yeah, making me tear up.
Yeah, it's like, you had brothers? Anyways.
Poor Mark.
Screw that guy. Screw him right in his stupid neck. Anyways. So yeah, I got the original Nintendo. And on launch, I actually had most Nintendo systems at launch. It kind of sucked when I got older and I had to pay for it myself, but and then the Super Nintendo was my, like, if I think of like a system that I think the most fondly of from my youth, it would be the Super Nintendo. Because at that point I was older. I was, you know, would it come out in 89, something like that?
Right.
I was, you know, 12, 13, you know, 12 years old. So that's
I loved the Super Nintendo. I had a lot of fun playing around with the SNES.
Mm-hmm.
I got the blaster for it. My parents scrapped together the blaster.
The shoulder cannon one.
Yeah, it was the shoulder cannon one. Yeah. It wasn't just the NES style handgun. No, it was the SNES shoulder blaster, the big bazooka thing.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved that thing. I played with that more than just on the game console itself. But even with all of that, I still was much more, I guess, in love with my PS1, and even still, the Genesis. So like yeah, I know, crazy, right?
I was a Nintendo kid through and through. I probably didn't personally own a Sega system until I was an adult. Now, when I was an adult, I ended up, I collected systems. This was probably, to give you kind of like a time window. I don't know if I've even talked to you about this. To give you kind of a time window, It was while, like, probably near, like, the peak, maybe the decline of PS2, original Xbox, and GameCube, to kind of give you a window. So it was probably 2004, 2005, somewhere in that window. I got in this weird kick. I grew up with a single mom. We didn't have much money, so anything that I got, she, you know, like my Nintendo and Super Nintendo, she saved up for a long time before they came out. She knew they were coming, so, but you know, I didn't really ask for a lot of extra things. Like I've never had like the Power Glove. I would love a Power Glove just to wear like to the store.
I have a Power Glove.
Oh, you prick. I don't even care to play a game because they only came out with one actual Power Glove game.
Yeah.
Which was that super glove ball. So I really don't get, like, if someone got, like, if I found one like at a yard sale and they're like, oh, my kid cut the cord off, I'd be like, perfect. Like, that would be awesome. And now there was rumors that there were left-handed ones. There never was. But if I get a left-handed one I'd wear them as driving gloves. I would never get a ticket again. Sir, do you know are those Power Gloves? Yes, sir, they are. On your way, sir. Drive faster.
Godspeed, citizen.
Godspeed. For some reason, he salutes me as I peel away and kick dirt in his face.
With a tear in his eye.
Yes. That
Mother of God, is that a power glove?
He is living the dream we all think about. So, but anyways, when I got older and I had a little bit of money, not really a whole lot, but I had a buddy who worked at a secondhand place that would sell video game consoles and stuff like that. And anytime something kind of rare came in, he'd call me and then sell it to me for dirt cheap from the store because they didn't really have set prices or anything like that. And I ended up having, I think almost every American-made system I had every American-made system from the original Nintendo all the way through GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation, all at the same time, all in the same living room. So I had, and before anybody tries to, because I bet you didn't have this one. I had 3DO systems. I had all the Nintendos, handheld and regular. I had what can I go with this? And I had a ton of stuff, right?
Nice.
And even to the point where I ended up putting because this is a while ago, a second TV and a second entertainment center in my living room, which I did, by the way, while my wife was at work. And I had so many system selectors because I had them all hooked up at the same time. I had so many system selectors to pull this off that playing any one console was like hacking into NORAD. And
I want to do that.
I was the only one who knew. They'd be like, somebody would be like, hey, can I play the, I've never played a 32X. Can I play the 32X? And be like, yeah, sure. Hold on. This to there and that one to that one and this one. This one, that one, that one, this one.
Okay, I have to adjust the dish just slightly. Okay, now I have to go to make sure I don't divide by 0.
Yep.
And then,
what do you mean you can't attach that wire? What is this?
Now give it a couple minutes. We have to wait until the eclipse happens, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I had a lot of games. The drawback is when you have a lot of that stuff and it starts becoming a collector thing. I was never like, I want to get one in box. Screw that. I wanted to hook them up. I've never been like a kid. We way over. Yeah, we're going to continue with When We Were Kids.
Oh my God, when we were the kids.
In the next episode. It's nostalgia.
Or more like, now we're going to feel really old about ourselves. Making us feel old.
They're going to make us feel old.
With a comment section there. It's like,
yeah,
I remember my first console was a Wii U.
I'll be like, yeah.
I can feel myself withering away now.
And they'll be like, what's a pager? All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comment section. Whoever's you're watching, make sure you check out both channels down below. And while you're there, hit the like and subscribe button there as well. If you guys want to come hang out, myself, Snoop, and the rest of the squad, chit chat on our Discord, hang out in our servers, get to know all the super awesome patrons, have a fun, safe place to play some Minecraft. You can do that by becoming a Patreon, help support what we do, and we'd love to meet you guys. Go check out the Patreon link for that. And if you want to get your very own server, just like the ones that the squad uses, why don't you head on over to HostHavoc? It's who we use for all of our multiplayer servers. We're very happy with them, and we know you guys will be too. So go check out HostHavoc. And until the next episode, we want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.